Hi tubies, here's Alexandra and welcome to my next painting tutorial. And to start with this painting tutorial off is I dedicate this video to my most dedicated subscribers. Yeah, there are actually 5 of them out there, and you guys, you rock. You always view my videos the second they go online, and you don't click the I like button. No, you as a super fan of me click always the dislike button. This is only for the super fans, and I must thank you for all the revenue you have given me by watching my videos and clicking on the dislike button, and all the revenue you've clicked on. Thank you. So, and yeah, now let's come to the miniature we are painting today. We are painting this miniature from Lord of the Rings. This is Elendil, the father from Isildur from the first movie. And yeah, you see, I've glued him to the base. And the first step I'm going to do is I will simply prime him in black. So, I'll be back when he's primed. So, after the priming, this is how he looks. And we will start with a color I have mixed on my own. This is called Dark Steel. This is simply, well, the darkest metal color you can get. Just take bolt gunmetal or an equivalent and mix in some black, and that way you can create this dark metal tone. So we take this color on the palette, and then we will paint all the metal parts of the miniature with this color. Don't worry that you may hit some of the clothing parts and some of the parts that are supposed to be gold in the end. That doesn't matter. This is just the first coat of color, and so you can be a little bit messy with it. But the more you progress in painting this miniature, the more and more detailed you have to work. I quite like this model because it is a really nice leader type miniature for the Gondorian army in Lord of the Rings. It stands quite out between the whole crowd with just metal armor, because he has this nice cloak, and then here this helmet with a decoration on top. It really stands out. So, after this is done, this needs quickly to dry now. Be right back. So tubies, now it is time to start working on the cloak, and here we have 2 different colors that are, well, supposed to be the same. We have first the old foundation paint, Untitled Dark Sun, and here now Avalanche Sunset. And here I will look the difference between those 2 colors. So let's first take Avalanche Sunset and try to paint over black. And you see, it does not really cover. And now let's take Untitled Dark Sun instead. Paint that here. And you see the coverage is much better. So, in this video I will use Untitled Dark Sun. If you can get a hold of it, then every time take it before the Avalanche Sunset. Well, if you have only the new one, then you have to do at least 2 or 3 coats of that. So, and with that, we paint now the inside of the cloak. Quite easy to do, even over black. And in my opinion, to take out the foundation paints out of the color range from GW was the worst decision that they have ever made. So I will finish that really quick and be back in a second. Okie dokie, the inside of the cloak is now painted, and the outside is supposed to be black, but I find this quite boring, and so I will use red. In this case I will try now the corn red first time. Let's see how this covers over black. So, well, to be honest, that's not bad. It's not perfect, but not really bad. But not the color that I wanted. So we will tone the red a little bit down with black. Yeah, that's good. And yeah, that's perfect. So, and with that, I now paint the whole cloak from the outside. And I'll be back when this is done and dry. So, the red coat is applied, and now I show you a technique for those of you that don't use or don't have washers. You can see I've darkened down the red color even more with some black, and made it quite liquid with water. And now I'm applying shadows by hand, just like that. You see, just paint this dark and well, liquid color in the recesses and the deepest folders where there should be shadows. So this technique gives you much more control over where the shadows are supposed to be, but normally a wash will also do the job. So here maybe in front, there a little bit. And there we go. The shadows are now applied. So this also needs to dry now. And I'll be back when this is done. Okie dokie. Now it's time for the skin, this little area in the helmet. And for that I use Vallejo Extra Opaque Heavy Skin Tone. This is basically the foundation paint from Vallejo. And I Now paint very carefully the skin color inside of the helmet. Don't worry that you may touch here and there some parts of the helmet or the beard. That doesn't matter, because we will be painting that later anyway. So for a face in a helmet like that, you don't need to apply many highlights or stuff like that. We will apply a shadow and that's it. So now we will paint the beard, and for that I use here Mornfang Brown. And you might have noticed that I don't say very often now water down the color. That's because the new GW paints are not very forgiving with watering them down. They are supposed to be applied in a quite thick coat, and the only way I have noticed to water them down is with Lamia Medium. That way you can still keep the opacity, or how it is called, of the color, and still have it more liquid and fluid than normal. So, okay, the beard is painted, the face is painted, and we will go over that now with a wash with Arcrux Earthshade. But you can also use Flesh Wash or Chestnut Ink or Devlin Mud or whatever brown ink color you have at hand. And voila, instant shading. Before we can apply the eyes, this needs to dry now. And we can go on now with a cloak. We will paint now the beige parts of the cloak, and for that we will start again with Yanden Dark Sun on our palette. And we will mix it 50-50 with Vallejo Model Color Sand Yellow. What that means, 50-50, is you take roughly the same amount of paint and then mix it together. And you see, we create now a brighter version of this beige. And this color, we will now put a drop of water in it. And with that, we go on painting. And before you take that wet bread to your mini, get rid of most of the excess so that you can make really nice strokes and not overflood the miniature with paint. And what we will do now is paint almost the whole cloak again with this new brighter color, but leave the recesses in the dark. This is not a big area, so this goes relatively fast. So, already done. Now we will brighten that even more with Pale Sand from Vallejo Model Color. This is a little bit too bright, so just tone it down again with a little bit of Yanden Dark Sun. Yeah, that's better. we will highlight even more. And yes, you can totally apply this technique to any cloak out there in the painting universe. You can apply this to Dark Angel robes, to Sorcerer robes, or whatever. Okay, there we go. Now, even brighter. Again, some of the pale sand. And I notice the color is not smooth enough, so I will add a tiny little bit of water. Just a tip of the brush full, mix it in, and there you go. And now I take some white and also mix that into the paint. This will be now our final highlight. On the most exposed areas of the cloak. And there we go. Oh my god, I forgot this side here. But never mind, we have something from the old color here. So we can take it and simply apply it. And something with a brighter color. This is how you fix something where you have missed something to highlight. You simply repaint it with the same colors. And there you go. Cloak is done. Well, the inside of the cloak. When this is dry, I'll be back for the red parts. Now it's time to do the same to the outside of the cloak. And for that we start with here, corn red. Putting that on the palette. Watering that a little bit down. Yeah, I have said previously that the base colors are not supposed to be watered down if you want to have them opaque, but if you water them down, they, well, get transparent, and that way you can make really nice blendings and highlightings. So for that purpose, the base colors are even better than the layer colors. And what you can see is that I paint now the upper areas of the cloak in this corn red, and I leave the shadow areas as well as a part of the previous darker corn red, the black-red mix we have applied previously. And that way we get a color transition. So, and always make the strokes in the direction of the cloak. So for example, if you have this area here as a highlight, don't paint it in this direction. So and when you go over the color with a second coat, then you even increase the brightness of the new layer. Here, if you don't have that many color on the brush, you can make those areas here with the side of the brush. So, also go on the front and do the same there. I get often the question, where should I apply the highlights? I can't see where exactly. Well, just look where are the higher spots and the lower spots in such a cloak. Here you can see there's the fold here, and there should be shadow. And in the upper parts there should be brighter color. If you think about it, it's actually quite easy. Just have a look at your own clothes and you can see where exactly to apply the highlights. So, okay, this color is done, and now we go even brighter with now Mephiston red. You can see directly this is a different tone and brighter. I'll water that down with one drop also. Adjust the paint amount on the brush. And then we apply it to the model. And we go even higher. And by the way, I'm painting here with a size number 2 brush. In GW terms, that is a base coat brush. And you can see that the cloak starts to look actually three-dimensional. And always leave a little bit of the old color behind, so you get a nice transition. So the next step should be Evil Sun Scarlet. This color should be even brighter than Mephiston red. Let's see. First time of using. And yes, this is even brighter. This is almost orange. And in old colors, I would say this is maybe the old Blood Angels red. Not blood red, the Blood Angels red. And you see I'm only making a tiny stroke here. Not painting the whole cloak. Yeah, that should be enough. And I think this makes now a really nice red. Yeah. So, in the next segment we will paint the armor. Be right back. Now we will have a look at the armor, and for that I use now Ironbreaker, one of the new metal colors from GW. Carefully adjusting the paint amount on my brush, and now I will slightly go over all the chainmail. That looks good. So here a little bit. So then also the rest of the armor will get a slight overbrush. To make nice little highlights. It's almost the same like highlighting anything else. You just take out the upper parts of the armor and apply the brighter metal color to it. Okay. And then the next step will be using now the even brighter variant, Runefang Steer. For the old colors, this would be now Chainmail for the darker variant and Mithril Silver for the brighter. Now I will pick out the top spots, make them shine bright. And voila, the metal parts are nice and shiny now. So now we will take a look at the gold parts, and for that I am base coating the gold now in Screaming Bell. Oh my god, this needs to be shaken. No, that's better. That's a very interesting tone with a reddish fluid in there. And when it is well mixed, you can see the actual color now. And this we will take now as our base coat for the gold. Good concentration, we don't want to paint over the edges now. But I must say, the coverage of this color is quite nice. And it seems to work. Okay, so now we will mix the color with Auric Armor Gold. Then we need a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good. Adjusting the amount of paint and slightly going over it. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Okay. And now I will take the pure gold gently brushing over it. Yeah. So, and as a final highlight, I will mix now Runefang Steel with the gold. Turn a little bit. And this way, the whole gold color looks much richer. It's not only one color, it's yeah, more vibrant and well, more rich. Gives it more three-dimensionality and more life to this metallic color. So let's, oh, oops, there I've entirely forgotten here the things at the face. Let's not kind of a big deal. Painting now the edges that I've previously accidentally painted with a brown and the skin color. And now, yeah, that looks much better. But I think I have hit the brown of the beard now, so I will correct that quickly with a tiny drop of the brown. There we go. Also on the armor are now 2 little drops or dots of metal that need to be redone. Okay. Oh, also on the sword. So now comes the hard part, painting the eyes. And for that I use pale sand. Good shake. Here, Vallejo model color pale sand. And yes, that are not the dropper bottles that Vallejo uses. I have repotted them. So very gently. There we go. Turn the miniature around. No, that was not good. That was not good. Well, you have seen that. I will correct that now, and we'll see us when it is done. Okay, I have corrected the eyes now. And now comes the even harder part, making a black dot inside of it. There's number 1. It's hard to do with the camera in front of me. Okay, that's the best I can do with this tiny miniature. You know that a lot of the Rings miniatures are smaller than normal GW miniatures. So, that was the paint job. Now comes the base job. So, let's take him off of the pot. Where do I have my white glue? Let's take this one. Put it in a sand container. And then, like usual, simply paint the base with the white glue with an old brush. And try not to hit the miniature too hard with the white glue. especially here at the cloak. Quite delicate work to get underneath. But there we go. So dragging a little bubble over the hole will help to seal it. Come on. Doesn't matter. So drag it through. And you see, good thing, a little bigger rock have hit this spot. So let's seal that also with a little bit glue and a little bit more sand. So drag around the base with your finger to make it clean. And then this needs to be drying. Don't forget to clean out the brush after using white glue on it. Yeah, and I'll be back when the base is dry. The white glue is dry, and now I hit it with a coat of Seraphim Sepia, but if you don't have that color, you can also use Agrok's Earthshade, or Devlin Mud, or Flash Wash, or whatever brown wash you have at hand. Simply dab it on. The wash will go into the recesses on its own. So, get it around. And the back side. Be careful to hit not the miniature. So, and again, this needs to dry now. Okie dokie. The wash on the base is now dry, and now we will give it a quick little overbrush with the Avalanche Sunset. Yeah, that's looking nice. Okay, this one is loose, so we get rid of it. And now we take Screaming Skull, or Bleached Bone, or Pale Sand, or whatever you have at hand. And we do the same again, but more gently here and there, not everywhere. So, now let's quickly paint the base corner, the edge, rather than the corner. And for that I use Moonfang Brown. Just simply paint around it. You see, it's not covering 100%, but that's okay. After it is dry, you can go over it a second time, and then it should cover completely. But for this tutorial, this should be enough. And I hope you like this miniature now. Let's give it a quickly turn around. And we see us in the next video. Your Alexandra.